Hey, what's up everyone? This will be July 2025's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles news roundup video. Pretty much we've rounded up all the different TMNT news stories that broke in July and put them together in one big video. It's perfect for catching up or listening to while doing stuff. Anyways, enjoy the updates video. Let's dive on in. Alright, the next bit of Ninja Turtles news to discuss is coming from The Hollywood Reporter, and you can see it says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles gets new creative team with American-born Chinese creator Gene Luen Yang and artist Freddie E. Williams II. And they're talking about the IDW Ninja Turtles comics. You can see the subtitle there under the headline says, the duo will be taking over from the current team of Jason Aaron and Juan Ferreira. So yeah, big change coming to the comics. And just for some context, the Ninja Turtles comics, these IDW Turtles, they were relaunched last year in 2024 with a new issue #1. They had brought in over the history of the previous 150 issues of the IDW comics. So that history came with them, but they relaunched the book with a new issue #1 and a whole new creative team. And it seems that now, after a couple arcs in this relaunch, we're going to be getting a new creative team jumping on board, which is, I think, a little different than how they did the book in the first 150 issues. So before this title was relaunched. Back then, most of the stories were done by Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman. And then at the end, it was Tom Waltz and Sophie Campbell. But yeah, after those 150 issues, they did the relaunch with the new issue #1, and that had Jason Aaron take over as the writer. And so yeah, he's been there since the beginning of this relaunch. So him exiting here as this new creative team is coming on board is a big change. Let's go ahead and read a little more here to see when exactly this change is happening. It says, Gene Luen Yang, the Eisner-winning creator of acclaimed graphic novel American-born Chinese, is picking up the katana to take on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for IDW Publishing. Yang will be the new writer of the ongoing comic, ushering in a new run beginning with issue #13. So it looks like the Jason Aaron, Juan Ferreira arc will finish with issue 12, and then this new team will jump on with issue 13, is what they're saying here. Let's read a little further. It says, Freddie E. Williams II, who had previously worked on the Batman Ninja Turtles crossover, the He-Man Ninja Turtles crossover, Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, will be the new artist on the title. The two pick up from where writer Jason Aaron and artist Juan Ferreira, the current team whose Back to Basics approach relaunched the book to best-selling status last year. Their finale closes with issue #12. So yeah, like how we were just discussing. And then it says, Yang and Williams' run, so the new team, launches in December. They point out an interesting fact here that Williams had previously drawn TMNT covers as well as crossovers with Batman and He-Man, but this is his first crack at the interiors, and they're talking about like the interiors of the main Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles title, which is kind of wild to think about. He's been involved with the Ninja Turtles for so long. It's wild that he's never been a part of that main series. So yeah, this will be his first time doing it, which is pretty cool. He's been doing the Turtles for a long time. You get an interesting tidbit here where it says much of the new storyline is being kept under the manhole, but it will begin with the Turtles reunited and feeling hopeful about the future of the city. But naturally, that doesn't last, as a dark and personal danger lurking in the shadows, the new assassin Ujigami makes their presence known. Then it says the issue, they're talking about issue 13, so when the new team starts their story, will hit December 10th, with the pre-order deadline being October 20th. Then down here, we can see that there are some covers for that issue. You can see this one here with all 4 turtles, and then this one here done by Freddie Williams. But yeah, super interesting news story here. It does seem like this second run of the IDW comics since the relaunch has had more of a rotating artist approach compared to their first 150 issue run. That's kind of what I'm seeing. When they initially launched this book, for the first 5 issues, the writer was the same, Jason Aaron, but if you remember, there was a different artist drawing the art for each one of those first 5 issues. And then after that, they had announced the team of Jason Aaron staying on, as writer, and then Juan Ferreira, and they did their couple arcs, and now it looks like, yeah, another new creative team, just completely, even the writer and the artist are jumping on board. I wonder if that's kind of how they're going to handle this second run, this relaunch of this Ninja Turtles book. Is it going to change every like 10 or 15 issues or so? That kind of seems like where the trend is going. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a good move? All right, so the next Ninja Turtles news story is coming over here from Forbes.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We can see the headline reads, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to face Godzilla in epic new crossover. So yes, you heard that right. The Ninja Turtles will be having a crossover with Godzilla. It says the world's two favorite multi-billion-dollar reptile franchises, Nickelodeon's Heroes in a Half Shell, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Toho's Godzilla, the King of Monsters, will collide in a new miniseries due out this November from IDW Publishing. The company announced today at a San Diego Comic-Con convention panel that also kicked off a new era and a new Godzilla issue #1. Let's keep reading. It says, according to the announcement, the Godzilla crossover series reveals that the original purpose for the Foot Clan was to protect Japan from the giant monsters known as kaiju, of whom Godzilla is the most fearsome. When Godzilla and pals reappear, the Foot Clan is not only unprepared to stop them, but their current leader, longtime turtle hater Shredder, may even be behind the attacks. Could he be after some genetic secret of the kaiju that would allow him to engineer upgraded henchmen capable of accomplishing his evil schemes? Luckily, Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello are on the case, hightailing it to Japan to confront their fiercest foe yet, a certain 100-foot-tall scaly beast with radioactive halitosis. Can they tame the kaiju and stop Shredder's evil scheme? Spoilers, probably, but it will be lots of fun to watch them try. Then you can see there that the writer is Tim Seeley and that the artist is Pharaoh Pei, who, if you remember, Pei did do the art on the Ninja Turtles Stranger Things crossover, and he also did a lot of issues on the Armageddon game arc, which was that big story that took place in the comics right before the comics relaunched. If you look a little further in the article, you can see that they reveal a preview page. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in that. You can see that it looks like Splinter might be telling the Turtles a story or something. They seem to be really into it, and you can see in the story, it almost looks like the Foot Clan are all lined up to try to take on Godzilla, and he's just kind of standing there in the background. Not sure exactly what the context is here of this imagery, but if you look a little further, you see like 3 different guys who look like are likely in the Foot Clan are all looking up at the monster, and one of the guys has like a rat on his shoulder. Maybe that's Hamato Yoshi and that Splinter there with him. I'm sure we'll find out as we get closer to the release. And speaking of the release, you can see down here in the article, it says the first issue of IDW's TMNT Godzilla goes on sale November 12th, 2025. Although it says right after that retailers are encouraged to get their orders in by October 6th. And yeah, if you jump on over to the X account of IDW Publishing, you can see that they also posted about it. And their post says, just announced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Godzilla. The heroes in the half shell are taking on the king of all monsters. Can the Turtles stop Shredder from creating a new mutagen with kaiju? So yeah, a little bit more details there about what could be going on in the story. But yeah, as of right now, that's all the info out. Let me know what you think. Are you looking forward to this Godzilla Ninja Turtles crossover? I didn't see this one coming at all. That just kind of came out of nowhere. And I like the mashup. I'm a big fan of both. So yeah, for me, this is a cool crossover. It'll be cool to see the two universes collide and how they handle all that. I'll definitely be talking about some big things that happen in that as it's going down. So all right, so the next bit of Ninja Turtle news that's come out recently has to do with the comics, and it's a pretty big deal. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. It's coming over from IGN.com. You could see the headline there reads, "The original Shredder returns in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Nexus," and you can see that the news there came from Comic-Con. Let's go ahead and read further into the article and see what's going on here. First up, it says, IDW Publishing has revealed its future plans for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise at San Diego Comic-Con. IGN can exclusively reveal IDW's next big TMNT event comic, a crossover epic dubbed TMNT Battle Nexus. So yeah, for those of you who are big fans of the Turtles, you know what Battle Nexus is. It's like this tournament format that's been in multiple iterations of the Turtles. Let's go ahead and read a little further into the article and see exactly what they're doing with it. The next paragraph there says, if that name sounds familiar, it's because the Battle Nexus has appeared in multiple incarnations of the TMNT comics and animated series. It's a dimension that links together many worlds in the multiverse, and a place where every few years a tournament is held to crown the greatest fighter in all reality. And yeah, if you remember from like the 2003 cartoon, Michelangelo becomes the Battle Nexus champion. It's like a big thing that he always touts throughout the show. And it also was a thing that they were touching on in the old Mirage comics as well. Let's keep reading here. It says, TMNT Battle Nexus is a 5-issue limited series with each chapter handled by a different creative team, but telling a unified story. So that's kind of a cool way to do this. Then you can see down there the full creative lineup. You have big TMNT names here like Tom Waltz, Ben Bishop, Sophie Campbell, the Scorza brothers, Eric Burnham, and all the other names you see there. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see all these artists come together to make this story happen. Down here it says, arguably the biggest selling point of Battle Nexus is that it features the return of the original Shredder from Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird's Mirage Comics TMNT run. So yeah, the original Shredder from the 80s black and white comics is going to be in the tournament. Let's keep going. It says, fittingly, this villain is still rendered in that classic black and white style. He'll be joined by Metalhead from the 2012 animated series, Slash from the IDW universe, and Ninjara, who's making her IDW debut here. Then right after that, it says, these 4 villains have been handpicked to defeat the Turtles in this high stakes tournament. Interesting mix of villains that they picked here. I wonder how much we'll get a look at other characters from other universes. I bet that's going to be one of the funnest parts about this event, is seeing all like the different Easter eggs and stuff from the different TMNT universes. We do get a quote here. It looks like it's from Tom Waltz, and it says, there are many moments and events in TMNT lore that I call touchstones. Traditional happenings like the family visiting the old farm in Northampton to regroup or regenerate. And then he says, well, competing in the Battle Nexus is another one of those touchstones, and my fellow TMNT collaborators and I, along with the great editorial team at IDW and Paramount, have come up with a new twist on the Battle Nexus that I believe will blow old and new fans' minds, and I couldn't be prouder to be a part of it. So yeah, we'll see what cool surprises they have in store for us. They did show off a few covers. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. You have this one here. It looks like it was done by Mateus Santaluco, and you can see the 1984 Mirage Shredder there front and center, and he seems to be with the other villains there that they were talking about in the article. You see 2012 Metalhead and IDW Slash and Ninjara right there. If we take a closer look at the background here of this cover, you can see scoreboards up behind them, and one of them has Leonardo from Secret of the Ooze, and you can see it says defeated, so he must have lost in the tournament. And then next to him you have Rise of the TMNT Raphael, and he was also defeated. You can also see 1987 Donatello, I believe, maybe it's Leonardo. You can see one of the Mirage Comics Turtles, the black and white ones right there, and then you see 2012 Michelangelo there next to Slash's head. Then down here on the ground we can see what appears to be maybe 1987 Leonardo's hand, and then we have another turtle hand there, not sure which version that one is. You then have this cover here from the Scorza brothers, and you have the 4 turtles, which I believe these will be the IDW turtles, because if you look over here on a post that was done on the IDW X account, you can see they say, just announced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Nexus, this blistering 5-part weekly series, by the way. So there'll be one coming out every week, it's usually 1 book a month. So this is a little different. Anyways, it says this blistering 5-part weekly series has IDW's Heroes in a Half Shell meet allies from other fan favorite TMNT universes as they fight for their lives. So yeah, I think the turtles we're seeing here in the cover are the IDW turtles. Another thing that pretty much confirms this is that you can see Donatello has his artificial shell there that his IDW version has. And yeah, you can see them facing off there against the 4 villains that were mentioned in the article. Then there's also this cover here, and you have Donatello versus Metalhead, specifically 2012 animated series Metalhead. This cover was done by Omar Francia. And then you have this cover here by Ben Bishop, which has IDW Leonardo fighting Mirage Comics Shredder. So yeah, this is going to be a big event happening, 5 issues coming out weekly. And you can see there at the bottom of the article that it says TMNT Battle Nexus issue 1 will be released November 12th, with the final pre-order date in your local comic book shops being October 6th. So yeah, get those pre-orders in. That way you can secure yourself a copy. But yeah, that pretty much does it there for that announcement. I'm curious to see if this is tied in any way with the regular ongoing IDW comic story, or if it's just kind of going to happen on the side and not really be acknowledged in the main run. We'll see. Either way, I think this is super cool. I can't wait to see what characters from which universes they bring in. It'll be awesome to see these artists' interpretations of those characters. I'll keep an eye out and see if they release anything here in the near future, and we'll definitely talk about it here on the channel. Okay, so the next bit of Ninja Turtles news has to do with some new NECA figures that were revealed at Comic-Con. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this over here on the toyarc.com. You can see there that they were at the NECA booth at Comic-Con, and they took some snapshots of some of the new figures that were there. Let's kind of go through these images here and point out some of the new ones that we haven't discussed yet here on the channel. First one I can see there that we've never seen before is this Garfello figure from the Ninja Turtles Garfield crossover. This was from back in the 90s. You can see he comes with a couple different heads, a stack of pizzas, Odie, and then you see Garfield there, and he looks just like he did in the comic back then. The next new figure that I'm not sure if I've seen before was this old lady and baby Bebop and Rocksteady from the 1987 show figures. I do not believe we've ever seen these figures before. Next, we have figures that are from the Image Comics version of the Ninja Turtles, and these were the ones that came out in the 90s. We've done videos on them. This is the one where like Raphael becomes the Shredder, Donatello almost dies, and you can see that they did reveal a figure of Raphael as Shredder from that comic run. You can see him right there, and then you have an interchangeable head, and you can see that half of his face is blown off. That also does happen in that comic run. Another figure we got from that same comic run is this Donatello here, but it's Cyborg Donatello. This was after he almost died from falling out of a helicopter. A cyborg kind of like latched onto him like a parasite and took over his body. And yeah, he looked like this for a while. Pretty awesome that he's getting a figure now. Then we jump over here into some 1990 movie Ninja Turtles figures, and you can see that they're going to be doing the turtles again, but with like different expressions on their faces and new accessories. You can see some of the accessories there on the ground, like the turtle axe, the campfire, Raphael's trench coat and hat. And if you look down there at what the boxes of these are going to look like, it has the design on the front of the box that looks like the old trading cards, which is a nice touch. Next, you can see over here that they did Casey Jones from the Body Count comics, as well as Nobody there from the old comics. And yeah, you can see other figures there that I believe we've already discussed in other videos, but those are the ones that stood out to me as some of the new ones. Let me know what you guys think about these. Also, are there any other new ones that you saw that we didn't discuss? Let me know. We'll go ahead and talk about it in a future video. All right, so the next bit of Ninja Turtles news to discuss has to do with some new Playmates Ninja Turtles figures. This time, it's crossover figures with the Godzilla franchise. So yeah, if you remember, we discussed in one of our previous news stories that they were going to do a Ninja Turtles Godzilla crossover comic later this year. And then yeah, shortly after that, they announced this Playmates action figures crossover between the two franchises. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what they said. You can see we're looking over here on the official Playmates Instagram page, and the caption reads, "Up from the sewers, 30 stories high, breathing fire, they're half shells in the sky. It's the Turtles x Godzilla. Mutants and monsters mash up in this epic TMNT Godzilla crossover, combining elements from the classic 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series with the nostalgic styling of the 1978 Godzilla animated series. It's time to celebrate some unique Cowabunga kaiju dudes coming first to Target in October." And then yeah, you could see the image there that they released, and you can see that Leonardo is crossed over with Godzilla, Michelangelo with I think King Ghidorah, and then Raphael with Rodan. That's kind of what it looks like here. I did see some images of Donatello. I forgot where I saw it. We'll put it here in the edit. And he's like some type of robot character. It doesn't look like Mecha Godzilla. I think it's that one robot character that would come out in the Godzilla movies. But yeah, I remember seeing the picture from one of the panels that they had there at Comic-Con. Someone had posted it. But yeah, good timing with the comic crossover just around the corner. This seems like they definitely must have coordinated this, so pretty cool to see them do that. I'm sure both fans of both franchises will get a kick out of this one. But this is not the only Playmates Ninja Turtles action figure news that recently came out. Let's jump over to another Instagram post that they did. And you can see here that they said the Last Ronin figures are coming to Target later this year. So yeah, Playmates figures based off of the Last Ronin story, which we had seen the Last Ronin figure before, which is this one right there on the main image. But if you go to the second image there, you can see Raphael from the Last Ronin story, which is pretty cool. Seeing like the Playmates version of the character. It's kind of cool to see how all the different companies do the different versions of the turtles whenever they tackle them. And Playmates just has like their look that they're known for, and to see like these characters from the super dark story but in like a Playmates version is a cool retro way to do the figures. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the Playmates Ninja Turtles news. This one's coming over here from Mezco Toys over on Instagram. And if you've been watching our updates videos here on the channel, you've probably seen us covering these Mezco figures here that have previously come out. But now they have a new figures line that it looks like they revealed at Comic-Con. Let's go ahead and take a look at their post here. It says 112 Collective Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 on display at booth 3145, which was their booth at Comic-Con. And you can see there that Mezco is going to be doing their version of the 1990 movie Ninja Turtles, which if you're a fan of the channel, you know that's my #1 version of the Turtles. Super exciting to see them getting Mezco versions of them now. There's not too much details on it, no release date, nothing like that. If you look over here, you can see each one of the turtles. So you have Raphael there spinning his sai, Leonardo giving a thumbs up, Donatello there with a big smile on his face, and Michelangelo swinging his nunchucks. So yeah, you get this shot here of each one of the turtles, but other than that, there's not much info on these yet. I just wanted to go ahead and talk about them since they had posted this. All right, so we got another quick Ninja Turtles news story. This one's coming over here from the official X account of McDonald's. You could see it right there. They say 2 faves in 1. Try to get them with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hello Kitty and Friends Happy Meal out August 12th. So you got the Ninja Turtles here doing a crossover with the Hello Kitty brand, which both are really big brands, but kind of different. So it's interesting to see them do a crossover like this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the different collectibles. I know a lot of people like to collect the different Happy Meals. Plus, I think it's been a while since there was a Ninja Turtles Happy Meal. So kind of a big collector's news story. Let's go ahead and see like the different figures or collectibles that are going to be in the Happy Meal. You can see they have 12 different collectibles. First one is a Hello Kitty Leonardo. The second one is a Cinnamon Roll Michelangelo. Third one is a My Melody Donatello. Fourth one's a Hello Kitty Raphael white version. Then you have Melody Leonardo, Hello Kitty Donatello, Kuromi Michelangelo, Hello Kitty Raphael again, but in a different pose, Bats Maru Leonardo, kind of looks like Bart Simpson, Hello Kitty Michelangelo, Cinema Roll Donatello, and Kuromi Raphael. So yeah, August 12th, that's when all these come out at McDonald's. Let me know, have you guys ever collected any of the McDonald's Happy Meals collectibles? I remember like back in the 90s when like the 101 Dalmatians were coming out, trying to get all 101 of those was like a big deal back then. But yeah, let me know what you think about these. This has to do with the recent announcement for the 35th anniversary of the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fathom events. Now, we already did a video covering it when it got initially announced, but apparently there was a lot of demand, and so they ended up adding more dates to the event. So let's go ahead and take a look at what those dates are. So yeah, for the 35th anniversary, in the original announcement, they said it was coming back to theaters August 17th and the 20th. So those 2 dates, but it seems like they had a lot of demand. So they ended up adding 3 more screening days. So now instead of the movie just being in theaters the 17th and the 20th, now it's going to have a run from August 16th all the way through the 20th. So all the days in between as well. And it also appears that they added new theaters as well. So if you checked it out the first time and you didn't see like a theater in your area, check it out again because they did add new theaters. So yeah, just to go back through it all, they did add more dates, August 16th through the 20th, and more theaters. So if this is a movie that you wanted to see in theaters, this will be a good chance to check it out. It's probably not going to be in theaters again until the 40th anniversary, so 5 years from now. So, but that does it for this Ninja Turtles news story. There is a few more that we have to discuss, but we'll talk about that in a different video. So subscribe if you're new, if you want to catch all that, and we'll see you in a little bit with another one. Take care.